Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we're going to do something a little bit different and take a look at 7 or 8, or maybe a few more actually, thinking about it, models that Games Workshop needs to stop selling right this instant. Take it down, take it off the website, take it off the database, put sold out, put no longer available, put sent into the fiery depths of hell, whatever you need to do. Just stop. Go away. No more. Of course, we have to start with the Deathcopter. It's mostly got like an honorary position on this list because as long as it's on the website, it is an affront to everything that Games Workshop has made since making the Deathcopter. It has no place here. Look at it. It's terrible. Why is it still available? It doesn't fit the aesthetic of anything else that the Orcs currently have. It's been out of date for around as long as a significant number of people have been alive. Get rid of it. I won't say any more. We've done a whole video on this thing. We don't need another one. We know it's terrible. Let's move on. So, there are of course casualties when it comes to war, and unfortunately this squad is, it has to be a casualty. It has to be, which is a shame, because I actually like, I would say 4 out of the 5 models right here. I do like 4 out of the 5. I'm not going to lie. I like the Hospitaller. I like the Standard Bearer. There's nothing wrong with a Sister of Battle with a Flamer. Come on, it's iconic, that. Admittedly, I'd like a helmet on the leader there, but other than that, the other 4 are fine. Whatever the hell is going on with open mouth McGee over there, I absolutely hate that model with a burning passion. I have hated it since the moment I saw it. I hate that it still exists. I cannot stand it. I don't know why I can't stand it. I don't even think for the most part it's that bad. I like the big staff with the speaker on the top. That's hardcore. The big kind of microphone collar. Absolutely okay with that. I like the holding of the scroll. I like all the text and the parchment work and all of it. Grand. But her head needs to not ever be available ever again in any capacity. It's that bad. I hate the mouth on this model so much that I would honestly scrap the entire squad. Now I realise the entire squad's going to be going away soon anyway, but still, if I could make it vanish this instant, I'd feel bad for the rest of them, but I'd still do it. I'd still get rid, because what is the face on that model? It is terrible. I can't stand it. Oh my god. Just looking at it annoys me. You can get a close look at it, because I'm planning to put a stupid zoom in so you can see it in all its glory up close, but I just don't get it. I don't get it when every other model is so solid, it's all so good, and then there's that fucking face, just... The mouth stares at you, and mouths should not stare. That shouldn't be a thing that happens. Okay, we've also got Phoenix Lord Jane Czar. Now, to be honest, I would love to see an updated version of this model. To be honest, all the Phoenix Lords need an update. They all would look great if they were brought up to date. They were given just the treatment, more detail, better poses, all of that. The personality of the models is still right there. It's still obvious for all to see. Of all of them, though, this is by far the worst one. Easily the worst one. The pose of it may have looked graceful and fluid and in motion at the time. We've moved on since then. We have most definitely moved on since then. Games Workshop have got a lot better at that as a whole. A lot of the models that we see now have nice dynamic poses, which this at some point may well have looked like it had. It does not look like that anymore, and now it is like a weird, incomprehensible mess of weirdly linking parts that don't make any real sense unless you're seeing it from certain angles. Like the side-on shot that they have on the site is genuinely bad, because it just makes it this weird abstract sculpture. It doesn't even look like a person at first glance. Yeah, the big mass of hair coming back from the helmet, I like the idea of it, but it's just a blob here. There's just a mass of black blob that for some reason curls down into connecting with another strand of something that isn't the hair, that also curves down and hits the foot that is at a strange angle. It just has not held up at all, and at a glance you just can't tell what the hell this thing is. You've got no idea. It's like a weird statue, like a sculpture, but not one of those sculptures where you look at it and go, fluid motion. No, you look at it and just think, did they just carve random parts out of that, or was there a plan to this? Because it really does not. It doesn't look like there was a plan anymore. It's just ugly, and Phoenix Lords shouldn't be ugly. It should be graceful and unsettling and imposing, and this is none of those things, unfortunately. Okay, we also have the servitors from the Space Marine range, they mostly need to go, to be honest. I mean, actually, in fairness, the one with the plasma cannon is not terrible. It's okay. It's the dude in front who looks like he was from at least 4 editions before the one with the plasma cannon that I have a real issue with. It just has not aged well at all. It's ugly, and it's not ugly because it's a servitor. It's ugly because it's just ugly. The proportions are way off. I mean, why is that? It looks like they have been squished, but only at the torso, which is a really weird look. The head seems way too wide for the body, but you can't even blame the fact that it's wide, unlike cybernetics. I know there's wires and there's like a plate on one half of the skull, but you can easily see that the head itself would have been unreasonably big. But it's okay because there's an unreasonably large collar going round that also makes it look like their neck should have almost connected to their shoulders. Which again, not how bodies work. The pose doesn't help either. The pose does not help with this model. It does not make it look better. It really does look like a proper throwback to a time where poses were borderline impossible to do. It's close to, it's very close to the pose of, the first, couple of generations of Space Marines where they're just squatly standing there, all hunched up and, scrunched together. It looks very much like that. That, in hindsight, now we know, didn't look great. Could look better. In fairness, they were working with what they had at the time. Things have got way better since then, and there's a nice nostalgia to looking back, especially the Rogue Trader stuff. It's like, oh wow, look how far we've come. This guy hasn't come any distance at all. He's just it's just exactly how things were, and it's not great. It is not great. Now, this might be a bit of a controversial one, but you just have to bear with me, okay? The Nurgle Demon Prince really does need a rework. He really does. He doesn't fit the... Well, no, that's not true. I was going to say he doesn't fit the current aesthetic of the Death Guard. He does, but in a prototype sort of way. In a... We have successfully done with the rest of the army what we were attempting to do with this kind of way. Do you get what I mean? It's like, it looks similar, but it looks so much rougher in every aspect. It looks so much rougher in every detail. There's weirdly squared off angular bits all over it which don't really look all that great. There's the head is not, it's never done anything for me anyway, but now that we've seen that you can get a really nice Death Guard helm with all the ribbed cabling and the cracks and stuff, the bug-eyed cartoon expression on this thing has not aged very well at all when you compare it to a lot of the more recent Death Guard stuff. Overly busy though quite a bit of that stuff is. This just does not, it just doesn't hold up. It just doesn't look great. And there are parts of it that would work. I think my main issue with this thing is the fact that parts of it work, parts of it hold up, and other parts of it just don't. They just don't look decent anymore. It doesn't, there are bits on it that look like prototype attempts of stuff that we now have good examples of. The face being a prime example. The pustules and stuff off to one side that are weirdly angular and almost like crystals in some places. Everything on this model has been done to a much higher standard on the newer Death Guard stuff, and it makes it look worse and older than it actually is. I mean, I know it's an old model anyway, but it makes it look somehow even more dated because it's like, oh, it was supposed to look like these guys, but they couldn't do it yet. It just doesn't fit anymore. It just does not look good anymore. And there's so many ways you can create your own Nurgle Demon prints that just look so much better than this in every conceivable way. I wouldn't miss it. I would not miss this if it went. I wouldn't be like, oh man, the Nurgle Demon Prince is gone. I would just go, yep, good. Okay, the last entry, the final one. And it's a little bit... I mean, this is a bit close to home for me personally, because I still have some of these lads. The Flayed Ones. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the lore behind the Flayed Ones. The lore's cool. A bit weird, but cool. I had Flayed Ones in my Necron army way back in the day. They don't look as creepy as they used to, I think is the main issue I have with these. Once you realise that they look like they're posing for the camera, once you realise that it looks as though they're doing some sort of weird Michael Jackson-esque dance as opposed to sneaking, they lose they lose a lot of the fear factor. When you think about the fact that quite often, I seem to remember anyway, stories involve them like clawing their way up through the ground even to grab their victims, and then there's a dude wandering about with an actual flayed person. The only possible way that is balancing that well, attached though it still is to the skin, is if that flayed one constantly walks in that weird, like, tilted forward position. They just don't quite have the fear factor that they used to. They look a bit too interpretive dance. They look a bit too much like they're striking a pose for the camera. It looks more like a music video routine in action than it does a group of insane robots who are there to flay your skin and take it for their own. They just have not aged well at all. And the Flayed Ones deserve so much more. So much more. It's such a cool bit of Necron lore. They deserve to be these terrifying, like, almost wraith-esque nightmares draped in human skin. They deserve to be something that you would look at and go, I'm out immediately, I'm out, run, leg it, run away. I just don't get that from these. I just do not get that, and it's because I once sat there and looked at them and thought, yeah, you know, it really does just sort of look like they're dancing a little bit, and that's not all that scary. If they're doing like a choreographed routine in your direction whilst wearing skin, it loses some of the fear factor. You know, it looks like these are guys who have fun. They practice, they rehearse, and then they go out and stalk the night. That's not great. That's just not. I'm just not feeling it. You know. They should just be so much more terrifying than these are, and they're just not scary. And that's a problem, because they are Flayed Ones, and they're supposed to be scary. Oh, man. Oh, my poor lad. My poor lad, you deserve so much better. You deserve so much better than that. Anyway, those are the models that I would absolutely not care, even slightly, if they all vanished from the store on this very day. If this video went live and this suddenly disappeared, I would not go, oh, it's a shame. I would just go, good. I'm fully prepared that many of you will disagree with some of these choices, but the question is open. These are just my choices. If you had to pick a few models to just disappear off the store, never seen again, which ones would you choose? And why would you choose them? Is there one that you hate more than any other? Is there one particular model that you just want gone? Is there one that you can't really explain why, you just can't stand it, and you just want it to leave? Let me know in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. And remember, there is an affiliate link in the description, so if you're going to buy some 40k stuff, if you do it through Element Games, through that link, I get something for sending you that way. You save between 15 and 25% off whatever you buy, which is all the tabletop stuff and all of the painting supplies and more stuff besides. It's a nice way to support the channel because it's buying stuff you would buy anyway with no extra cost, and it's like no extra steps. So you can do it if you like. But I leave it completely up to you. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Toodaloo.